Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday, June 18th. This broadcast is for demonstration and educational purposes only. If you are not a licensed, I am not you are not, I am not a licensed financial advisor. If you're not familiar with the risks associated with trading, please consult with a licensed financial advisor. Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Marcia. Get the opening bell is just a few minutes away. Oh, there it goes. Just a few seconds away. Pre-market, we had the news report come out, had a big move down, and now it looks like it's kind of filling in that gap. Let's take a quick look at the Forex Factory for today. This morning we had the core retail sales and retail sales month over month. Up 9% in May. Production, U.S. industrial production was up 9% in May. 0.9%, excuse me. And then it looks like we have industrial production came out. That was the one that we just looked at. Let's see what retail sales, what the report was. Increased less than expected in May. That might have been that move down we saw. Then the Fed always wants to sweet talk it and say the interest rates are going to come down gradually. So the rest of the day, FOMC Barkin speaking at 10. FOMC Kugler is speaking at 1 p.m. So 10 and 1. The FOMC is speaking. Okay. Looks like I might have two versions running. Okay. Sorry about that. Good morning, Rao. Let's see what's on the leaderboard here this morning. The prime time, 8 Unirenko is up 750. The gold nugget, that's the Signal A gold, 460. And it's in a beautiful trade now. Let's take a look at that trade on gold Signal A. AI drone. Good volume on gold this morning. Good volume on gold. Big candle on the ES, straight up.
Order submitted.
ES looks like it just took off on a rocket ship. Hey Andrew, my name is Rory Powers. I'm with Right Line Trading. And what we're doing, if this is your first day here, oh yeah, we spoke yesterday, Andrew. How you doing, Andy? We're running the AI Auto Trader, and the system is simultaneously trading 6 different instruments. All of the index equities, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, and the E-mini. And it's also trading crude oil and gold. And we run every single one of these strategies in its own separate SIM account. And we could see the leaderboard right here. I've enabled the strategies a few hours before the market open, around 7:30 this morning. And the system does an excellent job of keeping its finger on the pulse of the market. We want to follow these moves by the institutional money. And the system does a great job of letting us know where that money is going, where it's being pulled out of, and where it's going into. The S&P 500, man, that thing had a huge volume, pushing up big time, just over 7,000 contracts per minute.
Order submitted.
One HT is the number that is moving. You're talking about these white numbers that are moving, Andy? Those white numbers that are moving is the contracts per minute. Gotcha. That's contracts per minute, and we can add that to your chart very easily. How many contracts are crossing per minute? And when we get those big spikes in volume, those are the trades that we really like to get into. Usually that means we have a good chance of getting some follow through, and there's some good volatility. Big moves up or down. There goes our signal B drone. This was a hot strategy yesterday. It's nice and tight to the 50. So it's a really nice entry. Let's keep our eye on this trade here.
Order submitted.
So when you first have the system installed, like you just got installed yesterday, Andy, the best thing to do is today is run everything in its own separate SIM account. The system leverages some artificial intelligence, and it needs to gain some data. So it needs to run for a session or two to start adjusting your stop and profit targets. So the best thing to do today is let it run in SIM. That one came back on us. You see this big move down. Momentum is still pinned to the upside on that 30 range. You know, I was thinking to myself, gold with this great volume might be worth trading. Let's take a quick look here. This was a signal A short. Usually you don't see 3,000 contracts a minute on gold. You could see these big moves down and up and down and up. That's got the signal A written all over it. So if we go to a signal A, and I'm going to put my leader account on gold signal A, try to get this roll up. And I'm using a trade copier here. And if I wanted to trade gold, which I'm going to give it a shot, is I'm going to make gold signal A, AI drone, my leader account. And I have my
Order submitted.
well, it's actually currently in a trade. So I'm not going to get into this move. I was a little late. So with this trade copier, I could put the gold signal A AI drone as my leader account, and then I can put my Apex accounts as followers. So if that gold signal A AI drone takes a trade, I'll also be in the trade on these other Apex accounts. And keeping an eye on this NASDAQ short on the 30 range. It's already pinned it's pinned down. My RSI line, which is the trigger for the signal A and B. Signal B, it needs to be pinned to the 0% line for a short and pinned to the green 100% to go long. So I'm nice and tight to the 50 here. Market structure wise, my 15 is below my 50. So it's a nice move down, but I'm right into that area of support. So I need to break that area.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Okay, it looks like I'm in now on Apex, on gold.
Submitted.
So I did get into this trade. My leader account, I don't have the stops on there. My leader account is the gold signal A AI drone. This is my leader account. And I've got a trailing stop on the trade. Keep going up, gold.
Order submitted. Order
There we
submitted.
go. Come on. Bounce up. There we go.
Order submitted.
Going to trail it nice and tight. Come on, pop up for me.
Order submitted.
Go ahead. All right. Nice. We got $220. It's actually still in this trade. Ay, ay, ay.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
All right, for some reason. All right, so we got about $220 on those two trades. I think on one account I got 180, and the other one I got 220. So we'll keep an eye on that gold signal A.
Order submitted.
I saw that big spike in volume, and that's what made me take that trade. Christopher, do you currently have our software, Chris? Chris asks, where would I be able to get that contracts per minute indicator? I'm curious if you're running any of our trading systems.
Order submitted.
Gotcha. That's a custom indicator that we have, but you can get something very similar off of Ninja, and I'll show you a way to get that information. I was showing it yesterday, actually. If I go to my market analyzer on your Ninja Trader Control Center, and keep an eye on crude. I see crude's kind of launching. Good volume on crude. Holy moly. Christopher, in order to, do you have Ninja Trader? Christopher? If you have Ninja Trader, and I'm assuming that you do, on your Ninja Trader Control Center, okay. So this is a tool. Ninja Trader is a free platform, and you can go to their website at ninjatrader.com and download it. And when your Control Center comes up, you would go to New and select Market Analyzer. And then this is going to pop up. And if I right-click and I go to Columns, what I did was I put Daily Volume. But what I can do, if I go to Indicator, and in my indicator I put in the VOL, or volume, then I can do it. It'll calculate how many contracts are crossing per minute, and I can change it to, any time metric here. So now volume per minute, it'll show on my market analyzer those same numbers that you see on the bottom right of my chart. Here's that short roll I was looking for on the NASDAQ. We did break, it looks like it did break through that area of support. This is our haymaker strategy. This is running on a NASDAQ 30 range. And this can be one of our most exciting strategies. It trails the trade by 50 ticks, and it has a profit target of 200. So we're risking 250 to make 1,000. Now this strategy, if it does anything, if it gets a winning percentage, anything over 40%, you're going to make a ton of money with this strategy. The losers are very small. We probably lost about $80 or $90 on that trade, but had the potential to bring home the bacon. So one winner, it'll pull in 2 or 3 losers, but one winner, and you could shut it down for the day. Our retirement plan at the top right is a little bit more of a conservative strategy that runs on the NASDAQ.
Order submitted.
It catches huge reversals. Hey, good morning, Kush. The specs, Andy, for a good computer,
Order submitted.
you know, Charles or Sergio are probably the best ones to talk to. But from my understanding from talking to them, is if you have at least, I mean, if you're running a dedicated machine just for trading, you could probably get away with 8 gigs. If you use the internet and you have other browsers open, you probably want 16 gigs. And they always like to use an i7 or newer.
Order submitted.
Here we go with another short roll. So you can see my 2-minute up top and my 30 range are both in agreement right now. So it isn't a confirmed trend to the downside on the NASDAQ for these day trades that we're taking. For our purposes, we're looking for a short entry right now. And that can change really quick. I squeezed that trade. I shouldn't have squeezed it. Look at that. We're in some really nice positions here on the ES, signal A. You can see my open positions here. I'm in a short position on the NASDAQ. I'm long on crude on the signal B, a little late to the party. And my ES signal A is in a really beautiful trade here. Well, welcome, Christopher. Welcome. Yes, the bot is trading for me. I'm completely hands-free. I did squeeze my stop on my Apex accounts, but the system in the background, I jump in on a couple of trades on my prop accounts, and on those trades I'll kind of squeeze the stop because with Apex they look at unrealized gains, and I have a profit goal of about $500 a day, and I try to consistently make about 500. And then stop trading. That's just my methodology. And one way we can manage these trades, Andrew, also also Chris, I know that you're on Webull. With these trades, once I get a nice profit of, right now it's at 450. What I can do, let me just check my indicators. My modified fast is an EMA of an EMA. And what I could do is I can attach my stop to my indicator. By right-clicking on the stop, I can select Attach to Indicator and go to Properties, and I'm going to attach it to my modified fast. That's that 15 EMA. And click OK. So now I have a momentum-based trailing stop. That's not going to allow it to come all the way back and give away all my profits. The ES runs on a 5-minute. We call the ES our cash register strategy. And this is a strategy that's really been pretty consistent. We've been running it now for pretty close to a year. And it does very well. We run the signal A in the morning session from about 8:30 to 10:30. And then we switch over to the B from 11:30 to about 1. So this morning strategy looks for a big reversal, like it found right here. You can see my RSI line. Once it breaks through that 20, and I have market internals, a disparity between uptick and downtick, headed to the upside, it's going to pop into this trade long, like it did here. And you can see it's riding it up.
Order submitted.
Boy, I wish I would have given that gold trade a little more room.
Order submitted.
So we're in a trade on the CL signal B. And we're also going to take a look. We have our ODP. We abbreviate 1 day pass. We call it our ODP. And those are our strategies that are customized to get you past the evaluations. And we're right in the process now of developing the $250,000 account ODPs. It's going to be split up into a few trades. We're kind of working on a couple of different strategies now. But for the 50,000 account, it's a 1 day hit or miss. Look at Rao. Rao's already got 3,300 on gold. You got that long move, Rao? I saw that volume. I squeezed it. I was silly. We got into this long entry right here. And it went in our direction. I squeezed my stop. It stopped me out and continued up. I love that gold trade long. What really brought it to my attention was that spike in volume.
Order submitted.
The trade copier that I'm using is Affordable Indicators trade copier. To be honest with you, this morning I'm not too happy with it because my stop had disappeared on my follower accounts. So, but to answer your question, Paul,
Order submitted.
and I just started using it, so there is a chance it could be user error, which is normally the case.
Order submitted.
But it's with Affordable Indicators. Mark uses Replicanto. Let's see if we can break through this area of support here. Still getting really nice volume on gold. Now the signal A, what I'd really like to see on gold right now is a retracement back to the 50. We're a bit oversold. We'll come back to this 50 and retrace, and my RSI line would come down on the retracement, and then we get the continuation up. And the NASDAQ signal B is set to fire off. It just needs to clear these pivots. If it clears those areas of support, we might have some running room to the downside. It looks like we're getting a lot of downward pressure. Here we go with gold. Gold is retracing now back to the 50. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get my copier ready on this gold move up, hoping it retraces a little bit further. Okay, now I got it. Let me lock that. Wow, look at crude oil is off to the races. Beautiful trade on crude. Gold is testing this area of resistance. It bounced off it here a few times. So that's signal A on gold. To be careful with this area of resistance on gold. If I enable the signal A and it potentially could bounce off of that area.
Order submitted.
All right, let's go back to gold.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Now my retirement plan on the top right likes this reversal, this shift of momentum to the upside. Hey, Paul. Welcome. Glad you joined us.
Order submitted.
Now, both of our Nasdaqs took off long.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Oh, we're back in gold. Here we go. We are back in gold. A little concerned about this area of resistance. Mm, 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 mm. Taking a little heat. Very little risk on these trades. Our risk to reward ratio has really leaned heavily in our favor.
Order submitted.
Now our 5-minute AI bot, is still actually in this trade. And the drone is telling the bot where to put its stop and its profit targets. Retirement plan is the 2-minute on the NASDAQ. How many prop accounts do you need to run all of the bots? To answer your question, if you wanted to run all of the bots, it's really not really the way we trade the system, though. What we do is we only trade our top 2 or 3 strategies in our live or funded account. Those are the ones that we trade in our live or funded account. We have traders that are using anywhere from as small as a $25,000 prop account to all the way up to the $250,000 or $300,000. We had one of our members yesterday pass 4 $250,000 evaluations yesterday, leveraging the system. So he was able to get $1 million in funding yesterday in one day. Really excited to see that. So getting the, I'm seeing a lot of our members get past the evaluation and get funded. Yes, there you go. No, that's exactly what I'm doing. Is I'm seeing which one's crushing it and then flipping it on my trade copier to follow all of my Apex accounts. You got it. We're not getting a lot of follow through on the index equities, with exception to the ES. The ES is slowly, it's kind of consolidating here, but it looks like it's slowly headed, it keeps headed up higher. The NASDAQ is a little choppy.
Order submitted.
Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 windows open of my trade copier, and I'm just waiting to find the leader account to pop in there. The retirement plan has been been taking some beautiful trades. No, with our 1-day passes, the ODP, I mean, you're basically going to get funded the first week you have the system. Statistically, it's somewhere between 1 and 2 and one of 3. It's a one trade and done strategy. On a $50,000 account, it trades 10 contracts, and on the Nasdaq we go for 60 ticks, and we only run it in our our most profitable window of time. We time optimize these templates. So to answer your question, though, to get from combine to funded, using our ODP, our 1-day pass templates, statistically it's about one. It'll get funded. Let's call it, to be safe, because I like to err on the conservative side, is let's say 1 out of 3. I think is fair. I've seen Mark Miller get 1 out of 2. Here comes a gold bounce to the long side again. I'm a little hesitant with that area of support right above us, resistance in this case. Sorry, but let's give it another shot. If it breaks through there, this thing could go. Our NQ 50,000 PA account is up 215 today. That's a strategy that's designed to make a couple $100 a day. Once you have a funded account, you get a couple $100, you turn it off, and you're done for the day. Very conservative. 20-tick stop, 20-tick trailer, 20-tick profit target. Take a few trades, get up a couple hundred, and turn it off. That's this NQ50K PA account. Oh, okay. Charles is our IT tech, and he's answering the question regarding the specs needed to run the system. He's talking to you, Andy. We're just going to be patient here. I did enable the signal A on gold. I'm having second thoughts, though, because of that area of it really shouldn't trade into it. And crude jump back in. What's nice about this system is it gives you the ability to manage the trade if you want. They consider this a semi-automated system. There goes the signal B on the Nasdaq.
Order submitted.
It's a semi-automated system because you can control the conditions for the entry. Yes, we do deliver them in all pre-formatted templates with all of the inputs that we've optimized. We have tools that leverage AI technology that will optimize the templates, and we deliver them to our clients with all the pre-formatted settings.
Submitted.
but you always have the flexibility of making them more conservative or more aggressive. And that's what these prop firms with automated entries, you have to have that ability in order for it to be considered as a semi-automated system. So once you have the ability to control the parameters of the entry, and once it executes, it's on your chart, giving you the ability to manage the trade, that's what falls under the semi-automated.
Order submitted.
I'm watching the NASDAQ closely here. We're into some big areas of support now. My 15 is just above my 50 on my 30 range. And you can see my Laguerre is locked for a signal B. I'm on the video. Good morning. Hey, Antoine. Thank you. My father-in-law just came. Okay. He was holding my baby. I don't know if you guys saw that. That's Grandpa. Great father-in-law, I'll tell you. So the ES is coming right back to the VWAP. That purple dotted line on my ES chart is the VWAP. So we're still above the VWAP. And my stop is in an ideal location, actually. It's located right below the VWAP.
Order submitted.
All right, let's be patient. We're going to wait for one to come our way. I'd love to see a spike in volume. We had that news report come out at 10. The next one, I believe another announcement from one of the Feds is at not till 1 o'clock this afternoon. No, to answer your question, if you get 3 prop accounts, statistically we're going to get you passed on one of them. You do have an opportunity to get passed on all 3, but statistically it works out to somewhere between 1 and 2 and 1 and 3. Nightbot. Hey, Charlie, the Nightbot is warning you. We have a drone, a robot attendee. So the Nightbot is warning. Oh, Charlie. Yeah, piece of cake. Stop posting links. Warning. Let me see if I can boot him for good.
Order submitted.
Okay, here we go with the short roll on the signal A. A really nice entry. The problem is that I'm right into this area of support on the NASDAQ. So we're going to wait. We're going to hold off on this NASDAQ until it breaks this area. Right now it's in a ranging market. The gold signal A I took off. I didn't take this entry on my trade copier. I don't like that upside resistance. Take a quick look at the stock market. Well,
Order
this
submitted.
this Nvidia position is the gift that keeps giving. The
Order
Dow
submitted.
Jones is flat. It's minus 0.1%. The S&P is up 0.06%. Russell up about 0.15%. Nasdaq is down marginally. I'm curious to see how this gold trade works out.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
You can see I've got a number of strategies that are in the green today. Um, None of them is really hitting it out of the park, but they are all holding their own in a pretty sideways ranging market. This this Nasdaq is really in this tight range. It's really range bound right now. If we look at our 2 minute, you could see where our range is between these red and blue lines. It's not breaking below 20,160, really 20,170, and it's not breaking through 20,214 yet. Yet. Whenever the Fed is going to say something at 1 or 2 o'clock, we see this sideways action. I am ready for this short roll, though, on the 30 range. If we break through this area of support right here, I'm going to look to catch a short move. to the downside here. There goes gold. It's going to go retest that area. I could have made a big mistake here by not taking that. Seems the gold and the index equities are inversely correlated. There's an inverse correlation. When the index equities are headed down, gold and crude oil headed up.
Order submitted.
Paul, the way we know which ones is when you decide to if you decide to come aboard, what we do is we set up every single one of our strategies in a separate SIM account. A separate SIM account. And the reason we do this is because NinjaTrader has a tool called Trade Performance where we can historically see the performance of each strategy. So knowing on a long-term basis which ones are my most profitable, which ones are my strongest strategies is great information. So that's one of the variables that we take into consideration when deciding which one to trade in our live account. The second thing we do is we have two modules, Masterclass 1 and 2, and I'll put those in the chat box in just a moment. And in Module 1 and 2, we explain exactly what the triggers are. What triggers a trade? What conditions? And then the triggers have conditions that are within the strategy parameters. And it's a really good idea to have a basic understanding of these. So once you have some of that knowledge, and I would give yourself, there's probably a week or two, even though it's an automated system, there's probably a week or two of a learning curve. So knowing what our triggers are is very important. So going back to your question, another thing that weighs heavily is I call it the what have you done for me lately? We enable the strategies a few hours before the market open, around 7 or 7:30. And what we do is we see on that specific day which strategies are doing the best. They come right up on top of my leaderboard here. And I see right now today, it's a pretty good mixture. We have the gold, the ES, one of my NASDAQ strategies are doing good. So today is a day where you would have a tough time not picking a winning strategy, to be honest with you. Pretty much any one you chose today, you'd be up a nominal amount of money. This market, so we look at the very short frame, what have you done for me lately, to decide. We know what our triggers are. We could see what the market conditions are by having our charts all up on our screen. And having a clear understanding of what the triggers are, what the market conditions are, and how the strategies perform historically is all what weighs into our decision-making process. Gold kind of did pretty much what I expected. We could have gotten a small winner out of it, but it went up and it retested that same exact area and bounced right off of it. And our 30 range is with that 50 tick trailer, we with this ranging market, um, if we want to rack up some small gains, a couple hundred at a time, but that's one strategy we could go to. I'm just going to sit on my hands here. I really liked crude oil. Crude oil was looking really nice. Oh, you're welcome, Paul. Listen, some days, if you go back historically and look at some of our recordings on the YouTube live stream, some days, there's two or three strategies up here that are, 1,000, 2,000, sometimes even 3,000 in the green, and they're just crushing it. And it becomes very clear which one to go to.
Order submitted.
The signal B, it looks like it wants to keep riding up. There it goes. We got a little spike in volume here. I can see the numbers start moving really quick.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
I know with Tradeovate, I don't want to give you any bad information. As long as you can establish a connection on Ninja at the same time with your Blue Knox and your Apex, if you can establish both connections simultaneously on Ninja, then yes, you could. That wouldn't be a problem. If you can only have one connection connected at a time, then no, you wouldn't be able to. If you can connect them both simultaneously, the answer is yes. I'm going to run and take a real quick bathroom break. Definitely not giving up. Definitely going to get a nice trade in here in the next hour if the market cooperates with us. Let's just sit tight. Give me just one moment. I'll be right back.
Order submitted.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Let's take a look at this prime time chart. Looks like the prime time strategy got some big winners early. Yeah, it took that beautiful short entry. Let's see where we are in our range here. We're still right in the middle of it. I was hoping to come back to the top, and let's see if we can break through this area now. We got this week, the big Juneteenth holiday is tomorrow, and kind of a kind of a weird week with the market closing on Wednesday. For a lot of people, it's just an excuse to take the whole week off. We're coming back down to retest this bottom area of support. This is what we're looking to break. We get through here, we got some running room. I'm going to get my signal B ready.
Order submitted.
Haymaker's in a monster right now. We missed this Haymaker trade.
Order submitted.
The Haymaker took that beautiful short roll. It's retesting this area. I'm looking for the break. We get this break. There we go. There we go.
Order submitted.
Didn't quite get there, but we're close. Now we see a nice spike in volume, and we're off to the races here. Back in on oil.
Order submitted.
Hamza, good morning. Yes. Yes, I was talking about you a little bit earlier, Hamza. I was so excited to see your message yesterday. Congratulations. I was mentioning earlier that one of our members was able to pass four $250,000 accounts. That's $1 million in funding. Hamza was able to accomplish yesterday, which is really a great feat. I was so happy to read that. You made my day yesterday. He just came aboard too. Was referred to from a friend of his. I was reading in Discord. And man, when I saw that trade yesterday, I was so pumped up. Thank you, Hamza. Yeah, I know the charts that I have with these images in the background really, sometimes don't do it justice because what's going on behind these images with some of the other indicators. You could see basically the crosses, which are really great. Those are confluence signals that are looking at a number of different variables. Um, but we really have an extremely powerful system that leverages great indicators. They're all fractal indicators, multi-time frame assessments of trend and momentum. Let's see if I can pull up a chart in just a second. Anxiously awaiting this short roll here. We're bouncing and bouncing off of this area of support. I'm all over it on this signal A entry. If we break and the signal B, the system will not allow you to trade into a pivot. One of the conditions to this trigger is we have to have at least 60 ticks of clearance from a pivot. So if there's a pivot or an area of support or resistance within 70 ticks, 60 ticks of our entry, it will prevent the entry. And that is a variable that you can always make tighter or looser. You always want a clear path to a profit. Usually it's your first profit target. You want a clear path to your entry, to your profit target, with no areas of support or resistance, no pivots in your way. Right here, this pivot's in our way. Yes, Jarvis, thank you. Oh, I thought it was closed altogether tomorrow. We'll have to look at the trading schedule. It's bouncing right off of there. It's having a hard time getting through there. And our 2-minute is stuck. So we got a really ranging sideways market on the NASDAQ. Gold is ranging too. That one trade, I had a golden opportunity this morning, and I want you to know that it was my own human error. I should be one and done today, and I'll show you why. On this gold chart, you could see where my entry was. Hold on. Lost my place. Sorry. You could see my entry was right here on that first trade. And I squeezed my stop only to get nicked out and the thing go up straight up to the area of resistance. That was my one and done trade, and I managed to get in its way. But there's no use crying over spilled milk. We need to find another. I think there's a lot of downward pressure building up, though. That's just my opinion. I see both the 2-minute and the 30 range. In an area of compression. That's what David Wise calls it. The compression zone. They're in the compression zone. Let me see if I can pull up a chart, just a plain chart. on Ninja, I'm just going to build a plain chart of the NASDAQ just so you can see the indicators that do come on the templates and the chart templates that we send out. We would load the NASDAQ, put our template on for the NQ30 range, and we'll put our bar type, our data series is our bar type. We're going to put it on a range bar and 30 range. And we can load just 3 days of data, that's fine. So this is what the system looks like without the images in the background. And what I like to do, because our trigger is based off of this LIQUIDITY, I like to put my default settings on. Just has the RSI line. The LIQUIDITY oscillator also looks at fractal energy, but we don't really use that in this system. And if I want to add my volume, I right-click my chart, go to Indicators, and I'll open my Market Internals P folder, and I'll add that RLV indicator by double-clicking. And I'm going to make it black because it's a light-colored chart, and then click OK. So you can see my LIQUIDITY is locked down. Momentum is headed straight down. And I'm just bouncing off of this area of resistance, in this case support. That price has been bouncing off of, for about 15 minutes now. Here we go. It's flashing the cross now because we're about to break through it. So in order to get into this trade, I would need my 30 range B. My entry is a B because my LIQUIDITY is locked down. So I have my 30 range signal B. If we break through, it's going to pop me into this trade to the downside. The background color of my chart is a multi-time frame assessment of trend. It's telling me on the other time frame, the higher time frame, it's also trending to the downside. It formed another pivot just that quick. Didn't break. I'm very happy it didn't pop me in. Oh, it did pop me in. Yeah, I could tell you that leader account did not take the trade, but my Apex accounts did. So this trade copier is giving me a little bit of a hassle here. And I'm back in with no profit and no stops, which is not good. So right now I don't have much good things to say about my trade copier. So now I'm in this position on my Apex, hoping to God that it breaks through with no stop. So if I want to buy a stop, I'll put it right up by my 50. I'll buy a stop at market right here, just so I have a stop on my trade. And I'm going to go over to my other account that's in also without a stop. Let me give this a little room. And let me do the same thing.
Order submitted.
So this account here is on 23. And this one is on 22. So the trade copier's got me in a little bit of a pickle, I'll call it.
Order submitted.
Let me turn off this trade copier. My leader account never took the trade. Somehow both of my followers got in the trade. You could see the signal B, this one, is actually the one that took the trade.
Order submitted.
Now it went long. Oh, am I in a long position? I think I'm still in a position. All right. I hate adding new things to the workspace because it can get very confusing. This one's in a long trade. Mm-mm-mm.
Order submitted.
I'm going to turn both of these trade copiers off. They've gone rogue on me here. Oh no. Now it's going to break that area. I found myself in a real pickle here. My trade copier got me into these trades to the long side. I was hoping to get into a short to break through this area. Now it looks like it's going to do it. I need one more bounce. The volume's starting to spike on me. I'm in a bad position here.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to sell it.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Go the direction I wanted to go in. I don't know how I could possibly be down on this trade. You know what? I think I'm having problems with my data feed. That's the only thing I could think of. Hmm. Something doesn't seem quite right. I like this volume I'm getting. I'm going to give this trade some room because I really think it's going to mature to the downside. We got a big spike in volume here. Now we just need a big push down.
Order submitted.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Is people are just taking a long weekend. I got myself in a bit of a mess here with this one. Very low volume. Come on now, push down. Hmm. Come on, push down lower. Break through there. Come on down. Come on through. Come on down. There you go. Break down. There you go.
Stop fill.
So I don't know how I'm down 540. Amazing. I'm going to attach it to my 50 here. um, I really can't explain what happened with this. The only thing that makes sense to me is my trade copier got me into a trade that it should have never got me into. My leader account never went off, but my followers did. So somebody asked earlier what trade copier I'm using. Right now, I wouldn't recommend it with what just happened. If it wasn't such a ranging market, we'd be had some follow through. We just might be all right. Okay. Let's go back to the haymaker. I need some practice with this trade copier. I see. I was thinking this morning what a great addition it was, and how much easier it is to connect one of those drones to it, but it doesn't seem to be working properly. It might be because I added a tab to it. My gold signal A AI drone is doing really well today. Okay. Yeah, I know, Thomas. The generals were leading from the rear there, and still wondering what happened. This is the time of day, right about now, that our signal B on the ES kind of finds its way. Our signal B on the ES kicks in about 11:30, and by all indications, it looks like it would start riding a short position. I'm a little gun shy right now. I got to admit. I'm gonna disengage this trade copier and start over with it. You're hoping it goes up first? There goes oil again. Oil's moving really nicely today. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a signal B on crude oil. I'm going to make a new strategy. And I'm going to load a template for my crude oil signal B. And I'm going to throw it in number 22. Make sure my instrument is correct.
Order submitted.
And the reason I took crude oil is because I just like the setup. Crude's been trending up all morning. And right now my 15 is above my 50. Market structure wise, it's set up for a long trade. And you can see from this morning, starting at about 9 a.m., it's just been trending up. So I want to try to capitalize on this uptrend on crude. So the way I know I can get into it is if my Laguerre is locked to the 100% line, it'll pop me in, and I'll be in a long position on crude oil. So that's my decision-making process there. I like the way the chart looks. The volume is decent. It's turning 650 contracts a minute. And I know crude over the last 2 or 3 months has been a really consistent, it's been a really good strategy to trade, especially when it moves like this. So that's kind of what my decision making process, sounded like in my head. Well, Thomas, it looks like it's starting to head back up for you. Now we got that bounce. Take a look at the stock market real quick.
Order submitted.
We're going to go to about 11:30. We're going to give it 8 minutes. And I apologize about the issue that I had with my trade copier. It's certainly not a reflection on our system. The strategy I had in my leader account never even took the position because it didn't. For one reason or another, it just didn't take the position. It's in a long position now on that signal B, but I disengaged the copier. I'm using Affordable Indicators copier. And listen, I just got it, and I'm not as familiar with it as I would like to be, and I'm not going to point fingers or throw mud. It was getting really great reviews.
Order submitted.
A retirement plan.
Order submitted.
This thing does drift back up. This hasn't been an easy market, I'll tell you. All right, we'll give it 5 more minutes. Tomorrow is. I wanted to check on the calendar for tomorrow. My understanding was the market was closed altogether, but then Charles wrote in here that it was a half day, I think he wrote. Please note tomorrow, Juneteenth, is a holiday. The futures have an early halt. So from what Charles wrote, it's open half day in the morning. Let's take a look at our calendar here. The NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange will be closed Wednesday in observance of Juneteenth. So that's the stock market, the NASDAQ and the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange. The bond market will also be closed on June 19th. Juneteenth observes the end of slavery in the U.S. Well, with the stock market shut down tomorrow, the we as a business, we're not trading tomorrow. Charles said something about the futures until 12, but we won't be around tomorrow to trade them if it is open until 12. But we will return Thursday, God willing. Well, I wore my green shirt today, but I think it should have been a red one with that disaster that I had with my trade copier. But we will definitely give it another try. Hopefully with better results. I thought I kind of saved myself, but evidently I didn't. And just to go over the leaderboard, I wanted to put in, I saw we had somebody new here, and I wanted to put in the chat box our modules on the triggers and the parameters of the strategy. So I'm going to add that link into the chat. And I really would appreciate if you like my video here on YouTube. It gives us some traction on YouTube. And I hope everybody tomorrow is able to celebrate and take the day off and do what you enjoy doing. Have a barbecue. Me, I'm going to have a fish fry. I got more fish than I know what to do with. I got about 50 pounds of mahi-mahi dolphin from our Sunday trip, Father's Day trip. Okay, I'm going to put this link in the chat box. I have to put it on a notepad or it won't go in.
Order submitted.
I noticed Apex, they went down to 71% off. Yeah, but that ends, I think, today. So I'm hoping they come back out with that 90%. Because I'd like to get back and do those ODPs. Okay, I'm going to put in the chat box a link if you're interested in learning the triggers and the conditions and how to build your own optimized strategy, automated strategy, your own ATM machine. There's a link in the chat box. And if you have any questions, I also put my phone number, 786-732-4656. I'm going to grab a sandwich right now, but give me a call after 12 noon Eastern, 12:15. If you have any questions, I'd love to go over it with you. So I want to wish everybody a happy Juneteenth and enjoy the day off. God willing, we'll be back on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks again for joining me. Thanks, Marcia. God bless you. Have another holiday sale. Is Juneteenth really a holiday? Yeah, it's really a holiday, Thomas. Listen, I enjoy, the holidays, regardless. It's just an excuse to spend quality time with my family and friends. So I always look at it as a positive thing. And the end of slavery, I mean, that's phenomenal. That's kind of a stain on our history, but that's the past. So again, God bless everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Steve's not working. Enjoy your day off, Steve.